quarter live with myself and Felger. We're about to pop Felger up right on the fan line. You know how to hit us up. Pats controlling this game against the New York Jets. And ultimately, we're going to see where this game heads into the playoffs, where they go. So let's see if we got Felger who's ready. You know, King of Doom, whatever his nickname is, a.k.a. the son of hating. Is Felger there? We got to get Felger up right now. But the Pats controlling this game, and I like the way that they have controlled this game from beginning to end. Running the football, not putting Brady in a position where we got to worry about anything crazy. Defensively, they've played good. So I think when you look at this moving forward, you know, for all the Pats fans out there, I think this is a good game that you can springboard off of this headed into the postseason, especially the way defensively I think they played. And then, you know, how everything's going to fall out. With my opinion, I think the Pats get the 1 seed because I got Kansas City and the Chargers losing today. So that's the way I see it. And Pittsburgh ultimately can't get in because Baltimore should be able to win their game. But when you talk about Brady, he stood in the pocket the times that he has thrown the football. So he's looked good in that regards. But their ability to run the football going into the postseason, I think this is something that's going to be big for them because we've never really seen them do that before with this team where they have the ability to run the football and, you know, obviously have Brady. Gronkowski looked good today. I know he got targeted a few times. I'm talking about his running catch after some of those receptions. Here's what I would do right now. I know they got Edelman returning punt here. 28-3. Pats get the ball back. Take Brady out. Take Gronk out. Run the football. You're in total control of this game right now, right here. Like I said, Felger's going to be joining us later. So until he gets on the line, let's see what we got going on. Let's see. Joshua, this game shows us nothing. Jets as a team are checked out and planning their vacations. You know, that's true. I've been in those situations before as a player when you're basically got nothing to play for. But I think the thing that you have to look for here, Joshua, is not about what the Jets have shown you. I'm just talking about when you've seen like Brady and his I want to say the connection with the receivers and some of the passing game. I think the one thing that I take away from this game is their passing game. It wasn't big, but for the time that they threw the ball, it was efficient. That's what the Pats have to be when they go into the postseason, is be efficient in the pass game. We've seen them struggle in the past couple of weeks. So, yes, some Jets players might be checked out. But when I look at the whole from the Patriots passing game, I think they've been very efficient. Let's see. Nick, what can we learn from this thing? Nick, I think the biggest thing is, like I was just telling Joshua, is their efficiency in the passing game. When you think about the passing game the last couple of weeks, I mean, the passing game has been awful. Think about what we talked about last week with Brady and how, you know, bad he looked in the passing game. Granted, they were able to run the football, but I think the thing we saw is the efficiency in the passing game. You know, you see the guy like Philip Dorsett, who I think is going to have a big role in the postseason, make some plays in this game. Hogan, now he's going to have to step up. He's going to have to be more of a guy that can make some plays consistently. You obviously know what you're getting out of Edelman. Gronkowski, like I said, looked good the times that Brady threw him the ball. He went to him a few times. His ability to catch the football, to run after the catch, taking some hits. So I think when you look at some of those things right there, I think we've learned a lot from this passing game. Let's see what else we got here on the, let's see what other comments we got, Sean. We know that they can, what is this? We know they can on crap, but the Pats run defense. All right, so something about the Pats run defense. Run defense looked better. Granted, it's the Jets you're talking about, but their run look better. Let's see. Any idea of how bad Patterson's knee is? I don't know. I don't know how bad his knee is. Hopefully it's not that bad because I think you're going to be able to use him as a weapon in the postseason. So let's see if we can get Felger up here on the fan line. I still don't know if we can get him up. But I think Patterson, here's somebody, I know a lot of people have talked a lot of shit about him. But here's somebody that, granted, he might not be the best wide receiver, but he's a guy that you can use in, many different ways. And I think you're going to see them use him, depending on what that knee injury is. Here's the man of the hour, Felger. You all set there, or are you still your computer looks like shit? That must be that Wellesley. Yeah, you got a guy who's got to do a better job. So we'll try to get Felger up. So let's see what else let's see what else people are saying here. At least Dorsett and Hogan got involved. Nick says that. Yeah, that's true. You see right here, Hogan with another catch. And the thing that I talked about is the efficiency in the passing game. Brady spreading the ball out, because that's what you're going to have to do. Spread it out. And then when you get down in the red zone, you got to be able to make some plays. The ability to run the football, stepping up in the pocket. Hogan, listen, I'm going to tell you this. From playing the position before, a game like this for Chris Hogan is big. They just complete another pass on a double move, comes back, catches the ball. Confidence going into the playoffs, where your quarterback is looking to get you the football. This game, I think we've learned a lot, especially for Hogan and his role. Brady's ability to stay in the pocket, hits Hogan again. That's 3 plays in a row getting to Chris Hogan. So headed into the postseason, things are going to be looking really good. Let's see, Derek Gilmore and J.C. Jackson are the reason this team can play man-to-man. Now, I'll definitely give you Gilmore. J.C. Jackson has played well, but Gilmore by far is obviously your best defensive player. His ability to maybe take a guy away out, his ability to take a guy out, for the opposing team, take away their top receiver is going to be key. Now I wouldn't have Brady in the game right here, but obviously I'm not Bill Belichick. I'm talking about the Pats game with you guys from Man Cave. So, but I wouldn't have Brady in. I think you got a nice, comfortable lead. Their offense, the Jets' offense, can't do anything. So that's what I would do. See what else we say. Here we go. Rich. Let's see what Rich has to say. Rich, Pats have played well. Let's not take it away from them. Yeah, the Jets suck, but they still had to show up. That's true. Everybody always says that. Well, you know what? This other team's checked out. Now, granted, they might be checked out knowing that they can't do anything, but they're not going to get on the field and go half-assed, because that's how you hurt yourself. When you're on the field, hey, we really got nothing to play for, but we still know we got to play 100%, because if you don't play 100%, this is – So I think when you look at the Jets overall and what they had to do, I don't think they just came into this game going like, you know what, we're ready to get out of here. I think they came into the game going, hey, listen, let's try to get a win. If we can't, let's try to get off this field healthy. So for people to be like, the Jets have checked out, they're not giving them their best, that's BS. There we go, Felger.
Yo,
glad to see that you finally joined us. I know you had some computer issues.
So fucking annoying. I hate internet. I hate fucking technology. I hate it. I know I should be saying that on a technology-based app, but fuck off with the.
Well, you know what? Hey, that's Wellesley for you. You think they'd have some good towers over there to get you guys some good reception?
Damn it! So fucking annoying. Wiggy, how does Josh Gordon look in this game? Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right. No, wait.
All right, break it.
Sure, I saw number 10 running here down the field. Wait a minute. I thought the whole Josh Gordon thing was settled, Wiggy. No? Wait a minute. Wait, Gordon's not out there? What happened? I know I've been on break, but what happened to Gordon?
Keep it coming. Keep it coming. You were right, Felger. You were right.
So easy.
You were right on that one. I've been trying to avoid you. I've been trying to avoid you for as long as possible, saying, because I knew we were gonna have to hear it. You called it. You were right. It worked out for 11 weeks, but at the end of the day, it kind of hurt you more than it helped you.
It does, because now Hogan and Dorsett are sort of behind, and you could tell they were trying to get to him early, and maybe they can still catch up. But I think they would have been in a better place now if they had been going to Hogan and Dorsett the whole time and had them fully up to speed. So I think at the end of the day, maybe he got you a win in the interim. I don't know if you could put any one win on him. He did help you in some weeks, but Still, no, please give me a break. Do you feel any better about them after this game, or can you take anything away from it?
Well, the thing I do feel good about them is kind of the point you just made, is the thing about Hogan tonight. Hogan and Dorsett, the thing that I really I take away is Brady has gone to them. He's gone to them consistently. And they've made plays. So I think when you're looking at, I've been in this position before, when you're a player, last game in the regular season, headed into the postseason, and you know that your quarterback has confidence in you and is willing to, get you the football, and you've made some plays, I think that's good for them as far as their confidence going into the postseason. So that's probably the one thing I would take away from this game is Hogan and Dorsett's just kind of them being involved.
Did you learn more from the Pittsburgh game than anything you've learned in the last two games? You know what I'm saying? Like, the Pittsburgh game still shows you more about this team than these two, because I do. I mean, to me, what do these games show you? And I know it's such a predictable take, but you get to these home games against these AFC East teams that are playing out the string. It's like,
well, I think
one thing today does show me. I'll start, is that I don't think Brady's as hurt as everyone was saying last week. I mean, just because he has a bad game, or he gets bad, all of a sudden he's hurt, like maybe he just played bad.
I never bought the whole hurt thing. I think that's a crock of bullshit. I think it's more that he didn't play that well. He, when he was pressured in some of those games, and when Brady gets pressured, he kind of tends to, in the pocket a little bit, to kind of start seeing ghosts. I never put it on him being hurt or him doing anything like that, because there were still times in those games where he did make good throws. Like the Miami game, I thought he played well. It's just they ended up losing that game, and there was still some bad decisions that he made. And Pittsburgh, some bad decisions. I don't think that's because of injury. I think that's just because of Brady forcing the issue. Now, to go back to your point about these last two games versus the Pittsburgh game, I think the thing that it does show me is that they are a completely different team at home than they are on the road. And it is so important. It was so important for them to wrap up this 2 seed, because my opinion is this. Here's my take for you. Kansas City and the Chargers are both going to lose today, and the Pats are going to get the number 1 seed.
Whoa. They're both going to lose?
Yep.
KC has the Raiders, right?
KC has the Raiders, and the Chargers have Denver. That's my thing. I feel like, to me, when I look at it, I got just something telling me both of those. The Raiders have been playing well. They've kind of been on this like little bit of a high. They probably want to play spoiler. Denver's been playing well as well. So I just got a feeling that those two teams are going to lay an egg. After, when you lay your head to bed tonight, the Patriots will have the number 1 seed.
Okay, I think you're smoking drugs. No, they're not. KC's not losing to Oakland. I'm sorry, that thing's over. But the fact that you're a 2 seed puts you in position. And I've said this from day one. I wouldn't put it past KC choking in that divisional home game. They seem just like they've always been that kind of team in the past. Put up a big 12, 13 win season and then gag coming off the bye. They're just the team to do that. So I wouldn't put you past having the home AFC title game, but it feels like the Pats are a kind of team that needs it, where I don't think you've said that in the past.
Right.
What did you see? I know the comments Duran's asking about, how'd you feel about Gronkowski? I still feels to me like he's running gingerly, just the way, they got him the ball. He got some yardage. But, boy, I still feel like he's running on his tiptoes or something. It still just doesn't look right.
He's not – he's not the same player. But the thing that I do like is the run after the catch. He's not just he wasn't just like a Frankenstein lunk out there where you threw him the ball and where he caught it is where he went down. I think some of that run after the catch, that one where he kind of fought his way for a first down, it just shows me that, hey, if you can have Gronkowski at, say, 60%, 65%, it just gives you another weapon because regardless, you look at teams, the way that they're playing him, they're still doubling him. When you look at it, Pittsburgh, and you look at all these teams, they're still doubling Gronkowski, even though he might be, Julian just put it on the ground, even though he's still not where we remember Gronkowski to be, he still is getting doubled. And that's the thing that will open up other areas. The other areas are going to have to be, that ball that's going to come back. The other areas are going to be now, like you said, Hogan, Dorsett, Edelman, James White, Burkhead. Those guys winning when they get one-on-one coverage because Gronk might be getting doubled in the other areas.
I'll just say again, to me, it's an indictment. It's still a commentary on the AFC, not them. They're not who they've been in the past.
No.
I felt from day one it would catch up to them, and I still think it will. But if you ask me, do I have faith in any one specific AFC team? No, I don't. Kansas City at home, I'm sorry. I would like against the Patriots, but I still feel like they are an upset waiting to happen. Woogie, what'd you see? Did you see anything from the defense today? Anything renewed from the defense? Again, you always talk about their aggressiveness, how they're more aggressive at home. There's more blitz looks at home. I felt I saw far more blitz looks today than I have in some other.
Right, and for some reason, and we've talked about this, like it seems like all season long, when they're at home, you see them pressuring more, right? You see Van Noy always kind of getting to the quarterback, putting pressure on him. That's telling me that they're bringing in maybe an extra rusher. Maybe sometimes they'll bring Jonathan Jones or they'll bring Patrick Chung. They just feel like when they're at home, for some reason, and this is what I think the reason is, when you're at home, it's a little bit easier to be aggressive, right? Because now you feel like offensively, you kind of control the crowd when you get the ball back offensively, and the offense looks better when the Patriots offense looks better when they're at home. So you can gamble and take more shots when you're at home than versus on the road for some reason in their mind. That's why I've always said for this team to do well, they have to be aggressive, whether that's run blitzes or pass blitzes.
Okay, folks, you can join us on the fan line, even though it worked like donkey dick for me. Fan line in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Join us on your smartphone. We take your comments as well. Commenter just said that Rob Gronkowski now only an average. Joshua says only an above-average tight end, good blocker, great hands. Also, we may be watching his last regular season game as a Patriot. That seems to be a consensus opinion out there, Wig, that he's done. You think he's done?
I think that by looking at it, I would not be surprised if the guy retired after this season and just hung it up. But you know what? Going to that person's point, I would take an above-average tight end in the playoffs than not having a tight end at all. So, I mean, I think you got to look at it that. Yes, you don't have the same Rob Gronkowski.
That's a low bar there, Wig. So he's now just better than above average, and you'll take it.
I would say he's a little bit better than above average just from kind of what I'm seeing, what he's doing. Because the thing I would say he's better than above average, you won't double just an average or better than an average tight end. You're not, and they're still doubling Rob. The thing I would ask you this though, Felger, and this is the question that I've asked, right? Because everybody's talking about, Kansas City or whatnot, and the Patriots or whatnot. If you had to pick the Patriots playing in an AFC championship game, which is on the road in Kansas City, versus, which is going to be versus Kansas City, Belichick Brady, AFC championship game versus Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, one game on the road to win. I'm putting my money on the Pats.
Yeah, I like KC to lose in the divisional round more than I would the AFC title game. I think once they get to the AFC title game, they've gotten a little bit of that monkey off their back because they've won the week before. They've gotten some confidence there. And, Mahomes would have his first playoff win under his belt. And I would like Kansas City to have steadied themselves a little bit coming off of that divisional game. I think they're in upset potential in the divisional game. And look, of course you could win. I'm not writing you off. I'm not saying you have zero chance. But I would pick Kansas City in that game for sure.
Even though we've seen Andy Reid's history as a playoff coach. See, the reason why I look at the one game on the road, and I know everybody was going to say, oh, look at their road record all year. That's during the year. But when you talk about an AFC championship game, which I've been a part of, I've played on the road and I've played at home before. When you're a team that has that experience and you have the quarterback and you have the coach, to me, everybody's a-holes get you can't even get a pin up there. And the thing that I look at,
Kansas City's a little more vulnerable in that first one, in that first playoff game. If they win and get to you, Wiggy, they've gotten over that thing. Or they've
but the level, every game goes up. Wild card, then the divisional, the intensity, the level of play, and then the AFC championship game. So even though you've gotten past the divisional game, it's still another level that you have to step up and play at. So, and the thing that I always look at, in those games, we've seen, how many games have we seen? I'm just talking about in the NFL over the past 10 years. And it always comes down to the coach and the quarterback. either the coach is making a dumb decision or he's doing something.
It doesn't always come down to the coach and quarterback, because if that were the case, you'd have 18 Super Bowl wins instead of 5. So you've lost plenty of games against bad quarterbacks and bad coaches. That's just a cliche.
Right, but what I'm saying is this, that when it comes to winning in those games, it's either the coach is making dumb decisions. Like take 07, for example, right? With the Patriots, when they lost, the reason why they lost that game is because they played man-to-man on the backside with Ellis Hobbs versus Plaxico Burress, who's 6'5", and he runs a slant and go, and they just throw it up in the air. That is clearly on the coach, Bill Belichick. So the point that I'm trying to make is that if I had to put my money on coach and, a coach making a better decision between Andy Reid and Bill Belichick, I would bet more along the side of coach Belichick making smarter decisions than Andy Reid. That's all I'm saying about those type of games.
Okay, Nick doesn't like my glasses. Yeah, the wood blame the wood. Okay, I'm sick of people commenting about my reading glasses. I can't fucking see without them. Okay, I'm not doing the
Get someone a little bit more cooler, man. Get you some swag.
No, there aren't no swaggy, cool reading glasses. I don't give a shit. Mike says, would you rather have KC or Baltimore in the AFC Championship? Baltimore would be at home, so I'd rather be at home against Baltimore. And this is another thing why I think KC is susceptible. In their divisional game is going to be against either, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the Chargers or the Ravens. Now I think those are two tough teams. I think the Ravens are built to travel well and play. This is the way they're built. They're going to run the ball and play defense. Those teams always travel well. They've always been a good road playoff team under John Harbaugh, and the Chargers are an excellent team. So I just think that's going to be a tough match. That might be a tougher matchup for KC in that divisional round than you. I just think it could bounce your way because of that.
And think about this: Baltimore should have beat them a couple weeks ago, so they got that little mental, that little mental edge. They went into KC and should have beat them a few weeks ago. That game had to go into overtime, and then the Chargers, the last time they played KC, they beat them in KC, so the Chargers can go in there with confidence. I think the road for you is going to be good, and that's why I said, when you look at the playoffs and you look at all right with the 2 seed, you still could be hosting the AFC Championship game, because I don't have that much confidence in Kansas City as everybody else does.
Okay, Joanne likes my glasses. Thank you, Joanne. I appreciate it. Rich says there's literally no reason for TB12 to still be in there. Interesting point. Why is Brady goes out last week with 6+ minutes or whatever it was in the fourth quarter, and now he's still in there with 3 in the same, roughly situation, garbage time. Why? What's he doing?
I would have took him out as soon as the Pats stopped them, the Jets early in the fourth quarter. But now I think it's kind of like, maybe they're looking at like, hey, we going, they're inside the 20-yard line, stuffing a touchdown. I don't know, going into the playoffs like, hey, this is a good offensive game. You want them like go into the playoffs feeling confident, coming off a good win, playing good football. That could be the only reason why. And the fact that they're handing them the football off.
There's always some sort of message, though. Well, I mean,
right.
How come he was out so early last week, do you think?
That, like I said, I have no idea. I would have had him out of the game. So I don't know. Bill's mind works in a mysterious way. I don't understand his logic. Like you said, last week he's out with X amount of time. This week he's still in the game. I don't know if it's, them knowing, okay, they got the 2 seed, so the next time you guys are going to be on the field, it's going to be 2 weeks, maybe. So that could be something.
So good answers here from the guys on the comment line. A lot of it is what you just sort of mentioned. Confidence building. Nick says confidence building for Tom Brady. Ben says the same thing. The difference is Brady sucked last week, and this week he could use a confidence boost. Sean also says Brady's in there because it's the Jets. Bill and Brady hate the Jets.
That's true.
So it's like, how does my ass taste? I'm going to stay in this game right to the end. I mean, it could be a Jets thing. That's an interesting point. I mean, you know that. You played on both teams. You know what it was like Jets week, Bill.
Yeah, that could definitely play into it. But I would probably lean more towards, Brady had a bad game last week. He's actually playing pretty well this game. And it's like the confidence thing. You want your best player and you want all your players to be going into the playoffs, coming that Monday morning meeting. You want it to be uplifting. You want guys to have smiles on their faces because of the way that they played, and And I think that's what maybe this is. You know, there's an offense they could say, fellas, hey, look what we were able to do.
You know what, James White though, like get all these guys. What are they now? I'm just looking at it. Trent Brown, James White. What the fuck? You should get these guys out of there. Seriously.
Yeah, they were all in the game, but I think it's like the guy was saying that one person. It's confidence builder. You know, you want to go in. I remember when I was with the Vikings and we lost.
What does it say to you that they need a confidence boost?
Well, it tells me a lot. Like when you're talking about this team that has struggled, the last couple of weeks, and you know, here's a team that has struggled, especially offensively, to get the ball moving, to be able to do some things. So, like you said, you're not dealing with the same Patriots team of old where they have all the confidence in the world. This is not the same Pats team. They need confidence.
Well, I think that's an indictment. Nice coverage there on Edelman.
But I think we all know that, though. Like you said, it's an indictment on this team, but we all know what this team is. This is not the same team that this isn't the team that we should judge them off of years past, because they're nothing like years past. They need every little thing they can.
Wiggy, who do you like on the NFC side?
On the NFC side, I like New Orleans because of home field with them. You know, they control the game in the dome. If it was the Rams, I would have said, you know, if the Rams had home field, because the Saints are a different team. But when you look at the Saints at home versus on the road, because they're used to playing indoors, I just like the Saints. And then the way the Rams have kind of been playing towards the end of the season a little bit. And I think even with the NFC, right? I mean, if you're New Orleans, right, there's no real team that should concern you in the NFC.
The Rams is a good matchup. Yeah,
I mean, but you know, the Rams are a different team on the when they're on the road. You'll be at home. I mean, Seattle. Yeah, I'm not. If I'm the Saints, I'm not really concerned so much about Seattle and, you know, some of those other teams that you think about. You got the Cowboys. You know, you got the Cowboys. You got Seattle. Damn. You know, when you look at some of these teams, to me, I'm just like, ugh. I'm not concerned too much.
Okay, Wiggy, give me a grade for the Patriots this year. What kind of year?
For this year, I would say C-.
Oh, Wiggy, it's so critical. Oh, you're so negative.
Listen, this year, it started off. It started off early on as far as like the receivers, right? Making decision on receivers and what they were going to do. I was hoping that they would have went after Golden Tate. They ended up bringing in Josh Gordon. Ultimately, at the end of the day, Felger, you were right on that one. And looking back at it,
so predictable.
Looking back at it, it was like, you know, we were all looking for we were all trying to look for those rainbows and, you know, and just, you know, cotton candy at the end of the day. But he is who he is. And so you look at that, and that, you know, where you've struggled all year, I think it's been your passing game. You know, your passing game hasn't been the same, and, you know, they missed out some opportunities. I mean, even the times we talked about Demaryius Thomas, or we talked about some of those other guys that had the ability to maybe they could have signed. And I think when you look at them overall defensively, they've been bad.
Huh? A little strong. Connors says B-. I'm with Connors. Joanne says B. Eric, solid C. They're B. I mean, are we grading them against the league or themselves? If it's against themselves, then fine, right? For their standards, it's low. But I mean, that's why I settle in the middle. B-. B- kind of year for this Patriots team. And
I'm grading them against themselves. You know what I mean? I'm grading them against like the Miami game. That if you win that game, and now even if you lose against Pittsburgh, which is one of those games you got to go on the road, now you're looking at like, oh, okay, you don't piss down your leg against Miami. It's kind of a different team. So I'm grading them based on you lose against Detroit early in the season, you lose to Tennessee. So there's some of those games that I'm looking at like, you know, that it was just the way that they're looking at it is just bad. So I give them a C- on the year. But they still, in my opinion, I still think they're going to be in the Super Bowl. I still think they're.
Okay, so how can you give a Super Bowl team a C? Come on, Wade.
Because the rest of the league, you've said this. It's about the rest of the AFC. to their standards, they're playing C-minus football. But here's the analogy that I made, okay? And how people look at it differently. It's like this, right? We've seen the Patriots. They're like the guy at the party that always has the model chicks on his arm, right? Every time you see him, he's got these fine dime pieces on his arm. And then one day you see him at the party and he's with this absolute beast. You're like, yo, what's happened to you? You know what I mean? Everybody's going to be looking at him different. And this is one of them years where they don't have a model. They with that beast because whatever it is, maybe their game ain't right. The game ain't the same. They just don't have that. They don't have that swag this year. So I look at them, and then you got the teams like Kansas City and the rest of these teams that always got beast on their arms. And then now one year they happen to take the pretty girl to the party. So I'm not gonna give them no say so right off the giddy up. I'm looking at it like, hey, I'm gonna ride with the guy who's always getting tens. He just happened to have a bad night.
We're going to need to do a wiggy word on the street for a translation for all of that for me. I got about half of it. I got about half of that stuff. The rest of it, I'm going to have to get my translator out. I'm just looking at the seeds again. Mm-hmm. I'm just going back over it. And how fucking lucky the Patriots are, again, with the seeds. Houston's going to be the 3 seed, right? 2 plays the 3. So 2 plays the 3 if the 3 survives wild card weekend, right? So 2 plays the 3. So what's going to happen is Jacksonville is going to Tennessee and Indy is going to determine who's the 6th seed. They're going to go to Houston. Okay, everything goes according to Hoyle. Houston wins that game. 2 gets the 3. KC is going to be left with Baltimore or the Chargers, like I said before. Right. So the Patriots, because of the fucking Patriots, and they're so lucky, they end up getting the easier matchup with the lower seed. That being the number 1 is not what you want in this scenario.
Yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that because I would but I do understand your scenario. And yes, I would rather play either the Colts or Tennessee or Houston, which is likely who you're going to play at the 2 seed. So
now just don't confuse our listeners. If Tennessee or Indy go into Houston and win, then those teams are going to go to KC because they get the Chiefs get the lowest remaining seed. So
I'm just going.
If things go according to favorites, Houston will beat Tennessee or Indiana at home, and that means the Texans. That's just freaking lucky,
right? Is it lucky or is it the Houston Texans being the team that we expect them to be? Go down to Philadelphia and end up losing a game where they know if they win this football game, they're going to lock up the 2 seed. That's why I said when you talk about the playoffs, the games and you go back to some of those games and you watch them, the games come down to the decisions that the coach makes, whether it's a bad decision or a good decision, and the same with the quarterback. When you look at it, it's not about, when you go back and you look at the game, it's not about, oh, this guy ran the football, this guy made this catch defensively. It comes down to the coach making 1 or 2 good decisions or 1 or 2 bad decisions, and the same with the quarterback. And that's why when I look at this Patriots team as a playoff team, and you got to start with your coach and quarterback, to me, it's like when you're trying to pick a line in football and betting, advantage always goes to Pats because of their coach and their quarterback. That's why I look at this team in the playoffs as a completely different team.
I start with home field. Advantage goes to home field. So Kansas City's still in the driver's seat, but it is lined up well for the Patriots. Wiggy, there's no use for us watching the rest of this ball game. Brian Hoyer has now finally taken over. So we got 2 weeks to pick apart. We got 2 weeks. Once again, we'll be sitting around watching Wild Card Weekend and watching across the league how badly everybody sucks. And then we'll be laughing at this is the classic tomato can game. Houston on divisional weekend, Saturday night at Gillette Stadium. How many years have we fucking had that game? Feels like this will be the 4th or 5th time we have to sit through that pig of a football game. But it's good for the Patriots. Once again, everything comes up Patriots, Wig.
That's why I like them. That's why I like them going on this year.
All right, folks, I'm not sure what our programming will be next week. It will be something. We'll keep you updated. I've been fucking out for 2 weeks. I'll be back. You can catch me on FanCred. I'll be posting on FanCred, and Wig and I may do something next week. Maybe not. We'll see. But for sure, for the divisional game in a couple of weeks, Wig, we'll talk to you then. All right, buddy?
All right, buddy. Later.